Well, if you woke up early enough this morning, it was a clear start. Then about 8 this morning, the cloud cover pushed in, and we're still seeing a lot of steady southerly flow. You know, I don't like being wrong when it comes to dealing with some of this cloud cover, but it is an early clue as to when we could see some of that thunderstorm activity making its way in and cooling us off. Now, we're looking at the temperature change over the last 24 hours, and it's actually been pretty quiet over the last week, if not the last 2 weeks, without any rain, going all the way down into those upper 60s. Then we got up into those mid-90s today, and we're still holding on to a little bit of heat, and we're going to hold on to a little bit more as we make our way into this evening. 95 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us with those mid-90s across the entire region. High humidity values keeping us pretty close together. 95 in Sterling City, 92 down there in Junction. Everybody very close together across the entire region, except for holding on to 197 down there in Mason. Now, when we look at those humidity values, we're getting a good idea of how much southerly flow is pushing some of that moisture into the Concho Valley. Dew points are way up there in those 70s and those 60s. Humidity indices are up 10% where they were yesterday at this time, in those 40s, if not some of those 30s, upper 30s across the entire region. Now, we're talking about the upper level pattern. I found out that my producer is Sky Warned certified, so most of this is definitely directed at her as we're tracking the strong low pressure system off the west coast. This is where we're going to see some of that thunderstorm activity push in with those cooler temperatures by the equinox, down about 10 degrees. We're looking at a 20-degree drop. Some of those areas off the west coast already starting to see a lot of snow, about 9,000 feet and up, about 5 inches in the forecast. But when we look at next week, look at how dynamic this upper level pattern is. Stephen and I have definitely been trying to make sense of seeing some of this high pressure around the Rocky Mountains, and then of course what that could mean for us down here in the Concho Valley, looking like some cool, soggy weather for quite a while. Now, the circulation over Montana is what's cooling things off right now, but the one off the west coast is the one producing snow. You can see it pushing moisture up into Nevada. Now, that dry air with that ridging is really pushing off towards the east, and you can see some of that moisture making its way into the Concho Valley. That's where we're seeing some of that cloud cover, but it's all being held off by that circulation off the east. You can sort of see the head end of this circulation slowing down around Wisconsin. Now, the moisture tracker is going to show you where those concentrations of blues are going to continue to push off towards the east, but take a good look around the Big Bend region. That blue moisture makes its way in from Mexico across the Sierra Madres and then takes aim at the Concho Valley. When we take you into the severe weather outlook, it has indeed moved further off towards the east, but weakened or become less severe. Now, we're on the tail end of a lot of that moisture, and it's just outside of the Concho Valley on the western portion of it. When we take you down to the surface, a much quieter day, but they are definitely targeting these areas for those cooler temperatures, down about 20 degrees in those 70s, while still seeing a good amount of healthy snowfall all yesterday and including today. We take you down to Texas, where we're still dealing with a little bit of that light cloud cover, but the futurecast is going to show you how we'll continue to see some of those cloudy mornings. Here's Wednesday night into Thursday morning. There it comes from the south, then burns off by lunch. By Friday, those kickoff conditions. Again, some cloud cover by the morning, then it burns off by lunch for a beautiful Friday night and a great weekend. But we see that circulation with that moisture by Saturday morning, so make sure you get out there and take advantage, because the rain is definitely on its way. So tonight, dropping back down into those lower 70s, but still holding on to a lot of heat with that high humidity. Then tomorrow, a good run at those triple digits. We're going to struggle to get there, so let's go ahead and implement the hot weather safety only for one more day as we get closer towards Friday. Still going to be a little warm. Haley, I'm sorry we got to send you out there in that heat, but by the weekend, we're going to see a huge drop in temperatures by about 10 degrees by Sunday. The equinox pushes us down into those lower 90s, By Monday, down another 10 degrees into those lower 80s, while those lows are following the same trend by 10 degrees, going from those mid 70s all the way down into those mid 60s with a good opportunity for some rain. Stay tuned. We'll have more after the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.